everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
I am the greatest.
The greatest is in the game. We have Muhammad Ali, the greatest. Striker, aggressive, legendary. Let's take a look. The link he has is the legendary link. He does have one gear. All color moves start with 5 more MP on the gear. He's going to be obtainable free in the solo contest, assuming you can do all the stuff required. And the gear is on the prize wall. It's also in the faction event. There's a faction spend event coming. You can see the details on the blog. And the gear is there as well as on the prize wall for sure. So that's that. We're going to dig in here and take a look and see if he's the greatest in our game. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run, even though the gear's equipped, I'm going to run 3 builds that I would run potentially without the gear and show you guys that. And then we'll take a little short minute to talk about gear versus no gear, maybe in there. But yeah, let's take a look at him first. This is what he would do for you, no gear at 6-star silver. We're going to use Float Like a Butterfly, 6 MP, deal 186k damage, choose 1 row to make into multi-gems of strength 7. Dancing Jab, 6 MP purple, 168k, choose a 3x1 area to make into 2-turn jug gems. Increase your black MP by 4 on every countdown, 8 multiply into purple at the end of the countdown. And then the Dirty Clinch, 7 MP sub, 22 sub gems, 296k for 5 turns. It's a big sub. Remaining sub, turn multiply gems into strength 3. It's a big sub. It lasts a long time. Good and bad with that. Entourage, this is going to be a super sub build without the gear. So you're looking at 676k for 9 turns. Extremely big sub. So yeah, let's take a look. I don't think we need to say much more on this one. I have this set up very controlled. Oh, skill plate, as you can see, no plate on for this one. Actually, technically I have the Z plate equipped, but it's not going to affect this. 200% black move damage metal, about 136k, or 136%, I mean, gem damage across the board. So that's what we're going to run. Of course, this move would not be full with this setup. The Juggernaut would and the sub would in feud. So we're going to go ahead and hit those. Try and get the Juggernauts at the bottom where it doesn't look like there's a super likely match. Let me get this down to 125. And then let's go ahead. Oops, that was the wrong move. Ignore that, although you get to see the animation in extra time. That never happened, so let's not place that. It's okay. Spoiler, it'll refill. So Macho's got, you know, almost 10 million health. We're going to drain most of that with the sub. And generally, with a 5-turn sub, you're not going to have a ton of gems left over. Holy crap. That was a heck of a cascade by Macho. That's going to fill our black move. Which we didn't really want, necessarily. Because we didn't get to put our big 7 times multis down, but that's fine. We will just repeat and sub them for the win. It doesn't hit that hard anyway with this setup. Really, the setup is about the sub control. It recycles. Of course, you can see what happens if they pin you. You get a swipe. Then it fills. Only 3 times multipliers. The 7 hits a lot harder, and you can connect it. So you could use all heart. I'm not going to bother running it a second time, because really this moveset is about the sub and control. So there's that. Okay, next one, triple red, no gear. Now, I do want to say right away, I am sure there is lots of stuff you can do if you're willing to do a 5 and a 3 match in feud. I, however, am not. 5 in a 3 match in feud ends up cascading so often. People can say it doesn't. That's not true. It's simply not true. If you're doing 5 in 3 match in feud, like a 5 match and a 3 swipe, you are not going to consistently not pin. So you could do that with him with like a Judgment Day plate, right? So if you want to throw a Judgment Day plate on, you can 5 in 3 match to your heart's content. You can choose, maybe set up a red 3 match, you know, get these out twice to proc the Z plate twice, etc., etc. Anyway, Rope-a-Dope, 6 MP, deal 171k damage, make 10 random gems into 1 turn countdown gems, deal 133k damage, and increase the damage of all your gems by 20% for 1 turn. Provoke and Pulverize, 6 MP, 182k damage, choose 7 to make into black. Ollie Shuffle, 7 MP, 280k damage, 5x5 area to swap into red gem. So it recycles itself. It's kind of like a Butch moveset a little bit. If you've played Striker Butch, similar to that. And I do have the Z plate on right now, so we're going to get 50% gem damage when we throw those countdowns out and reduce theirs by 35%. Entourage. Let's see if I have something loadout saved wise for this. Close, and we can just change Sting. So we're going with all the red flats, and Snoop has 20% red percentage, and Sting to get us loaded. And feud. So again, like I said, if you want to do 5, 3 match, Judgment Day plate, be my guest. Or if you want to do 5 and 3 and cascade a bunch, that is also up to you. I don't like doing that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna chuck our Rope-a-Dope out, and they go in random spots, which I'm not crazy about, but so sometimes we're gonna lose them, but we can kind of work around it most of the time. Personally, I have the best success doing my 5 matches up top, so I'm going to continue that like so. The rest don't really matter. We're going to get all but one of those, so we got a nice like 80% boost. Reds are doing 255k. Now we got a 5x5 area. That looks pretty good. $11 million reduced to 9.5. Keep in mind this is a 6-star silver. So that would be no gear. And now we're going to see triple black no gear. Plate for this one, you could use a tiara. You could buff them a little bit. Actually, I have Snoop in that graphic. That's wrong. We're going to put... Actually, I have that because Zombie Edge is a little bit more rare, but we're not going to do that. We're going to switch Snoop out there. And we're going to put Zombie Edge in for black gems. Alright, so I think these are all still unseen. After this, you guys will have seen all the moves. Knockout Blow, 10 MP finisher, 520k damage, and choose 6x6 area to destroy. Sting Like a Bee, 240k damage, increase your black MP by 6, that's 7 MP. Float Like a Butterfly, deal 186k damage, choose 1 row to make into multiply gems of strength 7. You could use a tiara on this build, Queen's Tiara. And I don't think I saved this loadout, did I? Oh, look at that. I did. Excellent. So like I said, we're gonna, and the thinking originally was he's blowing up the board, so we're just gonna buff 2 gem colors. But I mean, I'm gonna go with Edge because I want the black gems buffed, because that's what we're gonna try to put the multiplies on for this. And you could use Nakamura if you don't have Matt for 12k on your black gems. And again, try to get the multiply rows on as many black gems as possible. So this setup is going to allow us to get 2 rows out, and then it's going to also fill the finisher so we can hit the finisher. So you can see 523k, choose a row. Then Sting Like a Bee will fill that up and fill the finisher if we didn't have gear. And then we'll hit the finisher into the area, and hopefully it looks like we will get a couple rows of 2. We'll try and avoid multiply gems as much as possible while still getting 2 black gems. Reds are his second highest. So the bottom, unfortunately we won't get this one or this one. The bottom 2 rows look the best to me. 672k, 74k. Which fills this again. And I'm sure all of you that are way ahead of me are already thinking, oh, this build with the drip plate. Don't worry, I'll run it at the end. Obviously, it's going to recycle. If you just clip one of these black gems, we are going to easily do that. So this is triple black, no gear at 6-star silver, 8.4 million. All right. Now we're going to see the same 3. Well, we're going to see the same 3 with gear, but also some plates on some of them. So back to the sub build with gear. You can see how much the sub does with gear when you can add Sammy for 100% sub damage. 9 turns at 958,000. That is a wow. That's a big sub. I'm not the biggest sub gameplay fan, but this sub becomes really, really big this way. Once you factor the gear in. So all the rest of the builds, like I said, will be factoring the gear in. So if you don't get the gear, these builds you're probably not going to be too excited about. He definitely, and I said I'd take about a minute in between here. You're going to want the gear. Like if you want to use Ali flat out, you need the gear. He's okay. Without the gear, I would run the sub build and look to recycle and win that way, to be honest. With the gear, it opens up a ton more options, and he can definitely, well, you'll see. But you're going to want the gear to run him at a high level competitively. You're going to need it, in fact. All right, here we go. Super sub build with gear. Of course, we have all the sub trainers. Sammy, 2 purple MP, 100 sub, Brock, Nikki, Papa. So Macho's got 10 million health. I think he'll have like less than a million left. I also forgot to put my Juggernaut move down because I'm dumb. So that's going to take an extra swipe. So, yeah. Go Mherex. So really, this should already be down. We would take our swipe, and it would fill the... Well, this would already be full, so we could have put it down. But I'm like totally on tilt now, so might as well go all the way. Alright. So I should have had 2 columns down of these, or 2 rows rather. And areas where you can connect is the best. So we're going to go here. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot match-wise on the board, so whatever. Really, this build is about the sub. This doesn't hit that hard anyway. It hits hard enough. You know? It's really just about the sub. Not my favorite, but... Alright. Triple red gear. Don't need any MP, so we're going to load up on the red trainers. 45%, 12k, 12k, and 20%. And I think since you guys have seen the animation, I'm going to crank it to 2 times speed in the interest of keeping this preview under 25 minutes, hopefully. There's a lot gear, but okay. Triple purple with gear and Z plate. Here we go. Keep in mind, again, we're 6-star silver. The fun stuff's at the end. In fact, also my favorite build doesn't use the drip plate. Spoiler. So you can see now we got a nice big buff, 300k per red. That wouldn't have been filled in feud, so I'm not taking that 5 match or that extra 50% gem damage from the Z plate because that would not have been filled in feud. And what do we hit? 10 million reduced to 9.5. Not color me not impressed with that build. Okay. So variation, same trainers. I would not run this though without the gear. Right? Again, no drip, no special plate for this, but I would only run it with the gear. So I will show it to you. Just there's so much, honestly, once you start factoring the gear in, basically all of his moves are full no matter what you do. So you can do all kinds of crazy combinations. I'm sure I will miss something. I'm sure somebody will come up with something awesome. So this is just to get the multiplies out there. Hold on. Helps if you use the right move. So we can choose into the multiplies. So this is trying the multiplies instead of the buff. Two rows of multiplies instead of using the buff and having to do a 5-match swipe. So this is your comparison for that. And if we're smart about this, maybe get a little bit extra. It's the same damage. You know, if they give us like the Cody plate that we just got, or a Queen's Tiara, but make multiply buff your red gems like 100%, that move will be spicy. But it's the same as the one before with a lot less nonsense, so that's why I included it. Okay, now we're going to see 3 builds with the drip plate. And then we're going to see my favorite without. So 3 builds coming up with the drip plate. In fact, the one you just saw, but with a drip. And since this will have a drip included, it's going to have more rare trainers, i.e. Mherex. This gets me closer, and then I'll just put Matt on here. I tried so many different combos with this guy because there is so much he can do once you get the gear. It's kind of mind-boggling. All right, here you guys go. So this build did 10 million without drip. Here it is with drip. And you could do the same 5-match kind of stuff with the drip, but I'm not about that life. So again, I'm sure there are fancier ways to hit harder. I'm more about speed and reliability. So that's what I'm going to be rolling with here. Support is not my favorite, but get a little bit extra here. Of course, drip plate going off every time we're doing this, so we're going to get 3 drippers. Dripperoo, drip, dripperoo. That's a lot of multis on the board, right? I mean, like, that's a passel of multiplies. This works pretty well. As you would expect. 24 million reduced to 19. Alright. Alright. I see you.
I am the greatest.
Alright. What does triple black do with the drip plate? Let's find out. You might be saying, Mherex, you just did a video on Loomis. Yeah, I know, but that's because there's going to be freaking multiply gems all over the place, so I can't really count on a specific color. So we're going to run Loomis for this one because you can't count on a specific color to break with the destroy. Same thing with Santa Hogan being multicolored. We're just that's the reasoning. And also get some trainer variety in here. If you're on stream, I'll probably have tried multiple different things on stream while you're watching stream today. Actually recording this before stream. So yeah, and previous only works for so many trainers. And when you've done a bajillion different builds, as I have, they're no longer in previous. And of course, I only have so many builds to save. All right, and then Santa here, because he works on all colors. Doesn't need to be 17K, but I mean, this is a drip build, so who cares? Even if he did. No one's gonna yell at me. If you got a drip, you got 17K Santa, I'd imagine at this point. Black and red are his two best colors. Bottom row, we're taking for sure. So you get the row and you get the drip multiplies, so it's extra. And which one has the least now? Oh, I guess there's only one here, so we're gonna do that. All right. Now we're gonna eat the whole board. Well, not the whole board, but most of it. Let's see how hard this hits. Little cascade. 19 million reduced to 16, so not as good as the previous build. Interesting, right? So far, this was 24 million winning out with the drip plate. However, we're going to run this a couple different ways. This is with gear, no drip plate needed. We're going to start out with these trainers and then do a little bit different because this is my favorite because it doesn't need a drip plate. The plate it's going to use is the Pyro Princess plate, which has been fairly dormant for me. In fact, completely dormant. So, you know, whenever you make 6 or more multiply gems, increase your black gem damage by 50% for 2 turns. And this doesn't hit... You could run this without the gear. However, you're going to need to clip a red gem to recycle, and you're not going to win turn 1 against silvers. So that's why it didn't make the cut for the video in an effort to be under 30 minutes, because I don't think we're going to make 25 already. At some point, enough's enough. Okay. And we're going to go edge. This is kind of a harken back to the old days. It's just a straightforward choose move. Punch you in the face. I actually really like this one. Really straightforward. Just make sure I get the right moves now. Easily my most favorite. We're gonna go. So loaded in feud with gear. Ideally, a couple rows is good, but if you can't get them, doing it like so. Oh, yeah, and the tiara does work, so we're at 100K. We're going to put the column out again. Let's do this top one. Sorry, 1,175,000. It was a million. Now we got the choose. Choose 9 gems. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna connect those. 2, 3, 4, and not the best. So we're missing 2 multiplies, but we're row breaking this, so we're technically getting them all. They're just 2 aren't black gems. In feud, you'd be choosing 1 more. So that was 18 million reduced to 15. But that's an 18 million hit without a drip plate, and it's very straightforward. Feud, you're choosing an extra gem, so that's very helpful. Let me run that one more time, and then I'll run it with a trainer switch. Because I think for a lot of us, if we get all E and we get the gear, this is the money, the way to go. He's also going to hit harder in feud because feud line bonuses and such. I think this is the ticket for the builds for him. Because we won't need to move a drip. Or have a drip. So I'm very hopeful my faction can snag his gear, because I do feel like you absolutely need the gear to get the most out of him. We can also do it this way. We could do a row on this one. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Row on this one. And 2 there. And yeah. My phone's apparently ringing. Weird. So yeah. Now, other way you can run him. So we're going to do it this way. We're going to use Dude Love and Mherex. Dude Love only chooses 1, but Mherex gives us 1 bigger multiply. 38% and 1 extra on the choose with Dude Love. This would be my preference, I believe, during feud, where you're getting the extra gem generate. 38% is nearly as good. Here, stats. 64, 616. And now let's do Dude Love instead. 64, 616. He goes down to... Oh, he's better. There you go. Dude Love's better, and we get an extra black gem. And then we're going to go Mherex here. Because it's his main gem stat, it's actually better at 38% than the flat. Nice. Gem modifier. Mherex. And we could also keep Bree in so that we can just choose a whole wall. So I'll run this without... I should have left Bree in. I'll run this with Mherex, and then I'll run it with Bree. For you guys to close it out.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
This is already great because we have a 3 and a 2 and all the stuff clustered right here. 3, 2, it's all right next to each other. Black gems all around it. Really, this is Butamus. This is much better board. Oop. Now we just connect the dots. Right, and this is much more kind of an old school feel because you're actually choosing a few gems, but it's not a slow choose. So I don't mind it. 20 million, reduced to 17.5. Did miss 1 multiply, so that gets me thinking, alright, is Mherex better for the 1 or is it better connect more? I mean, technically we're connecting 13 black gems, so that's 13. So Mherex is technically more, but maybe we catch some extra black gems. So it's about 6 of this, half a dozen the other. In feud, I for sure would run this setup with the extra gem generate, but just for fun, in case you don't have Mherex, because he's super rare, let's just put Nikki back on. And also, I like this build set, so why not run it 4 times? Because it's my preview. That's when I'll do what I want. If I can find her. And you can do what you want in your previews, guys. Also keep in mind, this is just it's a 30% gem damage belt in a tier 12 metal. So if you have 40, 50, 60, 100% gem damage strap and your metal, this is also going to hit way harder. So I think in feud, you'll go north of 24 million, which is about where you want to be, in my opinion, in feud. To make sure people don't kick out. So we're going to go here. But easily my favorite build set, I think. Not I think, it is. Not needing a drip is nice. And I'm sure you could run this with a drip too, instead of the tiara, and we'd be getting more multiplies out, and then maybe you want to go Titus and stuff. I just am not interested in doing that, because I'd rather not put a drip on him. So, you know. If you wanted to see that, sorry. So we're getting a bunch of extra gems this time, but not all multiply. 21 million, that was our best hit. Without Mem. With Dude Love and Bree. So, alright. All that's left is where does he fit in on my roster? Boy, I tell you what, I love Rocky 76. I need a drip plate to use him the way I want to. He's going to hit a little bit harder. Probably closer to 30 million than Ali, who I think will go 24, 25, 26 million, somewhere in there for me. But the fact that I don't need a drip really appeals to me. Like, really, really appeals to me. I didn't talk about his trainer. That's because I'm not a big sub guy. Trainers, for me, is just meh. I can really care less about the trainer. That's a non-factor to me. I really love Cross and what he can do. Totally different flavor. I would easily say, you know,
I am the greatest.
he's not quite the greatest, but he's very, very good, and he's a non-drip option. And I think he's, like, certainly top tier striker, right? I mean, like I said, drip on Rocky. I mean, Rocker does the Rocker thing. He's certainly faster than Rocker. Rocker, the play in the night, can hit harder than anyone, you know, multiple times. So there's that. But as far as Bischoff with both gears in a drip is really good. But as far as not needing a crazy plate, you do need his gear. And then just a tiara. I think he's as good as anyone given that. So if I got him, would he be my first 6-star silver striker? Very likely yes, based on the way my roster is shaking out and the fact that I don't like moving plates around, almost never do, and dislike depending on a drip plate. It would either be him or Cross, to be honest. Because if I get solo, then the drip would live on him and not Rocky. So I think Rocky's better with the drip. I think Ali doesn't need a drip, which I love. And yeah. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. He's a lot of fun to play, I'll tell you that, with the gear. I do think, though, absolutely you need his gear. Without the gear, he's not nearly as interesting. In fact, I wouldn't level him up without the gear, straight up. I think he needs the gear. So let me know what you think in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and good luck out there. Say my name!